You literally feel like you're in a different place. Like you can see a different landscape when you hear this song. Judas Priest is very, very good at that. It's almost cinematic, like you're living a movie somehow.
Sounds just like the Helion, doesn't it?
It really does. Except it's the Helion.
Helion?
Yeah. Helion.
The Helion?
Helion.
Helion. You can tell I'm a bit green with the priest. But, not for long, I guess. No. We do a lot of reading up on these guys, man. I obviously everybody knows I dove into Iron Maiden head first and super stoked on them and, wanted all that kind of, understand all that stuff. And, man, I started really getting into, reading about Judas Priest. They got a pretty crazy history and a crazy future. And Halford has been through some shit as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And then as a grown man as well, being gay, but also just him discovering that as a young kid when he went through with some older adults. Man, what? Jeez.
Yeah. He's had a life, that's for sure. That's a good book, actually. His book. It's called Halford. Yeah, get that.
Okay.
Good read. Yeah.
I'd be into that. That seems interesting.
He's a really nice man, apparently. Right. Yeah. Not a jerk, not bitter, not, he's a good dude.
I was listening to some interviews with him and he sounds it, he talks, he just sort of speaks honestly and not really from a very he doesn't have an air of arrogance about him, No. He just kind of talks and tells you stories. And, he told one story about, a fire, he used to love, I guess, fire extinguishers or lighting off fire extinguishers in the hotels, in hotel rooms. Yeah. And he blasted one under the wrong room one time. And it was a businessman, and he kind of sounded a little he kind of sounded ashamed by the whole thing, He just I
can see that.
Yeah. So
he's a very gracious person, apparently. Today, you're in suspense, listeners, because we're going to talk about this album.
Turbo.
Just kidding.
So this what I thought about the opening track, Turbo Lover was lacking in, anyways, Screaming for Vengeance.
This one.
Psych.
Yes. Psych.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry to have done that last week. However, we didn't want to shortchange it because there's lots to talk about.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Like the Helion.
There you go. See?
I got it.
I can't believe you said helium. Like helium.
Yeah. Well, it could have been either or.
Well, it's like that Black Sabbath record, Heaven and Heel.
So the kickoff to this album is it's pretty fantastic. It's fantastic. It's great. It's a great start to any album, and I'm trying to get us back on track here, Brent.
All right. I'm with you.
It's okay. That's fine. I get it. I'm laughable. Easy on the green tea. I was just, totally. When it started, this album started, I kind of felt like I was looking up at this thing, coming down on me, this giant, space thing, just out of the sky. Yeah, I felt like I looked it up and it was and it took, and I was ready to take
up.
Me. Yeah, I was ready for it, but they were really coming down to me, and
What band doesn't want that to happen?
Seriously.
That experience to their fans.
I mean, right? It's just killer. And it is.
It is that 1-2 punch of Hellion and Electric Eye is an absolute classic. And what a start to a record.
Such a great start. It's not as good as Delivering the Goods, but it is very good.
That's very good. Very interesting that you would say that. I love that song, but what a crazy statement that is.
It's so good. I don't know. It's so good. Hole in the Sky from Sabbath is great too, but this one is. Anyways, So the Hellion into Electric Eye. Electric Eye is an awesome tune. My boys absolutely love this 1-2 punch.
Electric Eye.
Really? Dude, I really wish I could I'm driving all the time when the song is on, but I want to take my phone and I will record these kids in the back seat because they lose their mind when this song comes on. Hendrix is just he's drumming away, and then Lewin looks at him, he laughs, and then he's going, and the whole song, they're just loving it. Electric Eye. Yeah,
that's amazing.
It's so much fun.
And remind us again how old they are.
Hendrix is 4.5. Lewin is 1.5 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
they're off to a very good start.
They dig it. I always say Alexa, play Electric Eye by Judas Priest, and Karina, my wife, looks at me and the boys are like Lewin can't talk, but he's he knows that he hears the music start, and he goes he runs over to the speaker and he does this little dance, and he's just so she's like, well, I can't tell you to turn it off because the boys love it. So
amazing.
Yeah, so
I love that.
Killer opening.
That's great. So speaking of drums, the next track, Riding on the Wind.
Yeah, we were stoked on the drum sound from Killing Machine, and that's why I was Les Binks from Killing Machine, and you it just seamlessly moves over to Dave Holland in Screaming for Vengeance, and it is so good.
Listen to this live. I saw them playing on this tour. It wasn't the US Festival, but it was somewhere else. It was Philadelphia or something. You can see it on YouTube, and they play this, and it's the drums will just they take your head off. It's just amazing. Yeah. But this song in particular, this song Riding on the Wind, could open this record. This is one of the best heavy metal songs I've ever heard. That's a bold statement, but it's true.
That's super bold. Really, this song of all of the Priest albums, really, eh?
Yep. Just the way that it starts, the drums, just right away, they go right after you, and then it's bang, 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 right? The riff, the solos are there. The vocal is histrionic. Oh man, everything is there.
It does have everything. It's a very, very good point. Like I said, of last, Killing Machine, there's nothing wrong ever with the guitars and the drums and the bass, like all the instrumentation, and it carries forward with this. And it's crazy because, this could open an album, but then you think about the Hellion into the Electric Eye, and it's no, that has to open the album, but this could open another album. That's right. Wild.
Totally.
I know.
And then,
so good.
Screaming for Vengeance can also open. They have just so many shit kickers on this album. It's crazy.
And I guess, we touched on this last episode too. Let's not forget this follows Point of Entry, which wasn't necessarily, a super well received. There it is. That's the original artwork too on that one.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's different, isn't it?
Yeah. Now it is exactly. Yeah. So, this is stated to be more of a commercial album. That one, try to get a little more radio friendly. We both agree it's still a good album, but
I love it.
Not like Screaming for Vengeance. That's for sure.
Screaming for Vengeance is a heavy metal album that all other heavy metal albums can be measured by. It's a measuring stick record. It's crunchy, it's aggressive, it's powerful, it's unrelenting. Everything is there, right?
but again, it's still so like listenable. You know, it's not like, even you talk about Riding on the Wind being like this like pinnacle heavy metal tune, but it's also so metal but melodic enough to be like,
that's
like,
right.
Just I don't know, perfect.
It really is.
You're right. This song is friggin' perfect, man.
Yeah, I've always loved it.
Bloodstone.
Oh, Bloodstone, also very good. So good. The vocal is so great.
Such a fan of this song.
Yeah.
Like, especially the intro, it kind of does this like cool guitar thing, and then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, they break into this wicked bam 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 bam, like out of nowhere.
That's a cool riff.
Like, how do you slide into that out of what you're playing? And like, they're so good at that too. They're so good at transitioning to like just a kick-ass riff.
Yeah, the drum fills, especially in Bloodstone, the drum fills just really jive with the guitar riffs, I find. You know, they're not just like a little snare, like, you know what I mean? Like there's cool do 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 do. You know, like they're almost melodic drum fills. Like I never really thought about that before, but you know, in talking about this, like it actually adds, because when you think about Judas Priest, you think Halford, you think about, again, the twin guitar attack, right? KK and Glenn, two of the best in business, and you don't necessarily think about the drums. But on this album in particular, the drums are up front and they play a key role. You know, albeit in the background, but like they're there and they influence how you experience this record, maybe more than you think.
I really wish that I could follow that up with a direct example, but I was listening to them before we started the show. I was bouncing all over the place, as I mentioned on the Killing Machine episode. Like I love everything. I love these riffs. I love so much about it that like I bounce from song to song, and that stood out to me. I can't even remember what I was listening to, and it might have been even like a song on Sin After Sin, like as well, where like the drumming is just, I don't know, man. They just do it so well. Everything talks together so well, and you would honestly, I'm surprised that they're different drummers. Honestly, almost album to album, because everything seems so good.
Holland seems a bit heavier to me. It's funny because he doesn't look like a heavy metal guy. His hair was short. Everybody else's, except Halford's hair was short too.
It was short, yeah.
He doesn't look. He kind of just looks like a very normal. He doesn't look like a metal guy, you know.
Right.
But like, played the hell out of that kid.
I guess I'm not very good at just determining the differences, but I don't know. I couldn't be like, oh, they changed drummers between this album and that album. Like, I wouldn't be able to tell you where the drummers switched off.
I think everybody kind of cranked it up a notch for this record, though, after Point of Entry.
Right.
You know, like Point of Entry had, you know, Hot Rockin', and I mean, it was nothing really as fierce as like Screaming for Vengeance or Riding on the Wind, mind you, but this album, everybody kind of cranked it up a little bit and said, like, we're really going to go for the throat.
They attacked this album for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, and were these all recorded in Spain, the Ibiza studio? Is that where they recorded? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Must be a tough place to record. And Take These Chains is a great tune. I know it's not directly a Judas Priest tune, but this is it's good. It's a good little tune. It's a good little song. Yeah.
It just, you know, listening to this, it's not, you know, Riding on the Wind. It's not Electric Eye, but it's on this record. And this record in particular, there was no skippers for me. I played it all the way through, and every song on this album, if you want to call this or Pain and Pleasure the weakest songs on the record, you might be right, but I'd still listen to them through every time.
You know, yeah. Pain and Pleasure are the two, is the song that doesn't do it for me on this album. Yeah. And it's actually too similar to Take These Chains. Like kind of not necessarily musically, but the idea of the song and like lyrically, it's just very, very much like, oh, we got this, Take These Chains is Robert Halligan Jr. song, and take these chains off, take them off my heart, pain and pleasure, give me pain, give me pleasure. Like it's kind of the same thing, so it's just, if I were to opt for one, it would be Take These Chains. And musically, pain and pleasure doesn't really do it for me. Again,
for me, it's part of the overall experience, and I kind of, maybe I'm lending it too much credence. I don't know, but like, it just seems like it fits on this record for me, just because I was so involved in this whole album, and I was maybe a little bit more forgiving. I don't know, but I don't hear this as a bad song. Like, it doesn't register as a bad song. It doesn't register as like as good a song as Riding on the Wind, but
yeah. Why? Come on, you can't compare this to Riding on the Wind, but no. It's like I said, British Steel, they're all good songs. It's just not that they just don't do it for me. They're just not the type of songs that I like, and Pain and Pleasure kind of does that thing for me. But I could also understand why a song like this would be important to people, or hold a special place for them, and because it still is more heavy than Take These Chains.
I often wondered too, I made that comment a couple shows back in British Steel about breaking the law, where Halford had not come out yet as being gay. And I wondered if he would kind of make little comments lyrically in references to that fact, right? And you hear at the end of the measure, Pain and Pleasure don't know what I like, he says, and that's how the song ends. Don't know what I like. And I remember listening to that after and just going, is that like an implicit message?
Can't imagine like that guy went through, man. Like, I mean, he talks about it, I'm sure he talks about it in his book, but to be able to have to hide like that, and to not even want to be able, like, staying true to himself in the fact that he's not even interested in women. He's not even trying for women. He's not even he knew from a young age that he was different, that he was gay, and he didn't even have any kind of attraction or intimacy towards women. And you think about that in this, and luckily the band knew, so there was at least that support, but they weren't like, pushing him to go with women or anything. But the fact that he never even was like, let me just give this a shot, and to kind of be absent of that. And as he says, it's like, it's difficult when you're absent of that kind of intimacy, and to be absent of, any kind of interaction, sort of that, intimate interaction with somebody. You need that.
Yeah. So songs like Pain and Pleasure, I think, were reflective of that. Screaming for Vengeance. Best side 2 lead off possibly ever.
Instrumentally
incredible.
Killer.
Right? Oh.
I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan. No, I'm serious. I know. What? I ain't gonna throw rocks at me, but this is like, this is where I'm probably gonna get the.
Please explain. I'm confused.
Just again, I think this is a product of me not like really digging vocal, like the vocal melody that Halford brings to the song.
Wow. How about that? I'm surprised.
I know. I in like, this is where, again, I think it's like people are going to be, oh, you don't like heavy metal, you like commercial metal. Yeah, okay, maybe that's correct. But I like a lot of Priest tunes, and, like I said, I go back, like I like some tunes from Sad Wings and Sinatra, and so I think I like some of the heavier stuff when it's done to my liking. I guess I'm a little picky, maybe. So that's it. All right. That's all I got.
You like what you like.
Yeah. What is it about the song for you?
It's just, again, perfect metal, right?
Yeah.
It's screaming for, like, it's so powerful that it's hard to imagine. And you think about other stuff that's out there, obviously, Maiden, Number of the Beast, maybe Metallica for sure, but not many more songs that are more fierce than this one. For the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And I also got to say, like, you've seen these guys live.
Yes.
Right. So you've seen this song live. I can imagine this song live as just insane.
It is, but the other thing that I'm leaving out, and I probably I need to touch on this, is that like the ferocity is there and the power is there, but also the virtuosity is there. So these guys are like masterclass players, Tipton and Downing, and Halford, like hitting those high notes, and doing it live effortlessly. Like this is incredible music. Now, how about the next tune? You've got another thing coming.
That's good. That's
just
good. It's good. It's
really.
I like what Halford does with the vocal. Like, there's nothing bad about this song.
Wow.
It's just, but it's okay. Like it's.
No way. Wow. Yeah. This is it's one of the, there's a lot of songs like this, like Pour Some Sugar on Me was like this. It was
right.
A last minute. You know what this is? Written at the very, very last minute.
Right.
And it was just kind of in pieces in the studio. They'd worked on it previously and just kind of shelved it, put it aside. And I think the story goes, it's Tom Allen produced this record, I think, and he heard it and he's like, oh, you gotta like get this on the record. And they thought that it wasn't good enough to be on the album. And then they had their hot markets in the States. I think St. Louis was one of them. And there was another one, I can't remember where it was, but they expected to hear Priest songs there. But they said that as they traveled through the US, they could hear it on the radio everywhere. And they were like, why are people listening to this song? Like, this is one of the weakest. And they said, like, it just blew up, and they were like, how did we miss that? They would say to each other, how did none of us pick up on that this is a huge single, and now to date, one of their most popular songs.
Crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's hilarious. Like, it's funny because, I can hear the commercialization in this song, Brent. It does. It feels like it's more. It's way more. I can't find words tonight, but I feel like it's digestible for people, as a metal song.
I think they kind of came by it honestly. So like, United and Take on the World were maybe trying a little too hard to appeal to audiences in a sing-along capacity. But this, they didn't realize the strength of it. And that's kind of what's cool about it, because actually I've heard it a lot. It's not one of my favorite songs on the record.
Right.
But I do like it. I like it a hell of a lot more than United and Take on the World. That's for sure. Yeah.
Totally. Riffs are great. And the way he sings, all my life, I'm gonna live it up. Like, it's, again, the vocal melody on this, I enjoy. Like, it's...
I want to do just one episode of you singing like a bunch of these songs. I think we should do that.
I'm gonna live it up. Yeah. Yeah. Careful what you ask for. You got another thing coming, my friend. See what I did there. Fever. Try not to think it's like too disco-y just because it's called Fever, but it's got a bit of a, I don't know, man. It's got a bit of a groove.
It certainly does. Yeah, you're right. It does. I made that comment a couple of episodes ago about, Judas Priest not being able to swing. They get pretty close here. Atmospheric too, like really, truly atmospheric. You literally feel like you're in a different place. Like you can see a different landscape when you hear this song. Judas Priest is very, very good at that. They have a song on Defenders of the Faith they do that with. But like it's it's hard to describe. It's like they kind of pick you up and put you somewhere else, you know, and you're right inside the song. It's almost cinematic, like you're living a movie somehow.
Totally, man. And this is what I was saying, like with Killing Machine and Evening Star, like they do a great job of like kind of like sucking in a little bit, and like with this sort of like, oh, what's happening? It's kind of atmospheric. The same with Burning Up, and then they do that here. You know, again, Take These Chains and Fever. They do a great job of like, they just do a great job of that.
The like atmospherics in the song are just like, it's a tour de force. Like that part when he sings like super high in the breakdown. So destiny has brought us oh so close together. Like, it makes it gives me the chills, just like, because he sings it in such a high register, and it's perfect where it is in the song, because there's this build up, and he does that right after the drum fill, and it's like, oh my God, like that is absolute, like, that's why I listen to music, you know, that's why right there, that's what you get out of it.
Fever.
And Devil's Child.
There's your atmospheric. Fever.
Wow.
Yeah, Devil's Child.
I hope you don't cut that part out. I really, really need that to stay in. I do.
Devil's Child.
Show me your bottle of bourbon. Yeah.
No, I'm doing pretty good. Okay.
Show it.
It's not bad, but no.
Okay.
It's Redemption 2, by the way.
Yeah, nice.
I think I was like just a little bit under the neck.
Oh, I thought it was.
But that's what I've said before. When I'm excited about the album we're going to talk about, I drink more, because I'm like, yeah, we got to talk about that. I start drinking. Like when I'm excited, I drink. Devil's Child.
Yes.
Is my favorite Judas Priest song of all time.
Oh.
Mic drop.
Wow.
Mic drop.
Wow.
This is my tune.
Really?
You put the song anytime, anywhere.
Oh, it's a great one.
It's great. It's to
incredible.
Me, this is the best Judas Priest song of all time.
Wow. An excellent closer, in my opinion.
I shouldn't say best. I should just say my favorite. Sorry, my favorite of all time.
Wow. I've always loved it too. Yeah. Halford's voice, perfectly suited for it. It's like aggressive, raw. Love it.
The way the guitar, you know, after, you know, he says, I believe you're the devil, and then the guitar goes, like just the way that plays.
Yeah. Just those chords, the way they smash those out at the beginning, like, you know, the intro. It's almost AC/DC like, right?
It is.
With the space.
100%.
Yeah. It's so gripping. Yeah. And have you heard this live? Have you heard a live version of this?
I did, because it's on the album that I listen to, like on streaming services. It's the live version. Oh. And, you know, I think I said this in the British Steel episode where there was a live song that came on. I couldn't believe it was live until I heard the clapping. Yeah. This was the song.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good.
I found in that, I don't know if we're listening to the same one, but the drums can't, like the tempo is sped up, obviously, because it's live. But the drums are up front in the mix, maybe a little bit more. And Halford sings in a higher octave for most of it. And it's like, holy shit.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, the breakdown, like his voice in those breakdowns is so good. What does he say? I gave my heart, and then my heart was blown to smithereens, or something like that. Anyway, it's not even the words he uses, but it's just the delivery and how he delivers that line. And it's like, ooh, you know, I don't know anybody else who could do that, really.
Just love the backup vocals. This is talking. Like, just call and response is fucking perfect.
The line actually is, I just thought of it. You took my heart and left it blown to smithereens. I gave my body as a slave.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. But just the way that he sings that is like...
The delivery is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
So good. Yeah, everything about this song is perfect. It's my favorite Priest song of all time.
Nice. That's cool. I
In
like
the 2 weeks, 3 weeks I've been listening to them.
So, how do you rank it? Young
This
Jedi.
This is a 4.5 as well.
Oh, really? I'm going to up it to 5.5 to cover your
Cover my half. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. No, I just
5.5.
I was actually thinking about this, and I was like, Killing Machine, for me, I'm pretty sure I like it more than this album.
Wow, really?
But there are songs on this that are just so good that I can't rake it. I can't like give it. Not that my ratings friggin' mean anything, but I couldn't give it any less than Killing Machine. So,
we were talking in the last episode about how it has a 70s inflection, and this album does not. I wonder if that's what you like about it more.
It could be, because you know what? That's what I liked about Point of Entry. I feel like Point of Entry had more of like a rock and roll type of vibe. It had more of a, like 70s, like actual rock and roll type of swing to some of like a lot of those songs.
Right.
And I think that's why I like that album the way I do. And I think definitely Killing Machine has more of those moments.
Certainly they do.
So
it does. Yeah. True.
But friggin' Judas Priest. I will have, whether it's next episode or the episode after, there will be a Judas Priest shirt on this show.
Okay, good.
And
Which
it'll
one?
probably...
Which record?
Well, I gotta see what I can get these days, man. Like, I guess I can order them online, but definitely
see if you can get Screaming for Vengeance. That's a cool shirt. I would wear that shirt.
Yeah.
I love that logo.
It's a fantastic logo.
It's just so cool.
And
I remember a kid, when I was in high school, a kid that I didn't like very much actually had this shirt, and I was like, wow, where did he get that? I want that shirt.
Damn it. Why do you have to have that shirt?
Exactly.
You see the Turbo? You look at the cover of Turbo?
Same wrist.
Yeah. Same style, right?
The Defenders of the Faith. Same like kind of motif, right?
That one more so Screaming for Vengeance, because of like the lines coming out the back of the hand. Yeah. And like the placement of some of the verbiage. But Defenders of the Faith, I would get that t-shirt as well. That is so cool. That whatever thing is on the front.
It's like a lion or something.
Well, it's Defender of the Faith. That's what that is.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. It's a faith defender, Brent.
Whoa.
Okay. Stop drinking so much, man. Jeez.
You're drunk.
Worse to you. I'm not drunk. I'm not drunk. You're drunk. You bunked your mic. Okay? Bunked your mic. I'm standing.
Look at your eyes. Open your eyes.
What do you mean, man?
There you go.
I feel like they're pretty open. So, where are we going?
What's next? Let's go on to another metal-ish band of this the same kind of category, but not as heavy, called Scorpions.
Scorpions. Here I am.
I don't know if I want to do that
one. Come on.
What do you know about that record?
Is that Blackout?
No, that's Love at First Sting.
Love at First Sting, so then nothing. So.
Okay, so Love at First Sting came out after Blackout. But before Blackout, before Blackout, there was a lot of good records, but one of them kind of stands out as being a pretty good one. And I think, again, I'm trying to guess your entry point here, because I would do Blackout. Blackout's a good record. I actually really like it, and I think you like it too.
Okay.
So we can either do Blackout or we can do an album called Love Drive. Let's start with Love Drive and go from there. Yeah.
I know like 3 Scorpions tunes. Rock You Like a Hurricane,
one from this one.
No One Like You, and Wind of Change. I think those
are all like 80s tunes. Yeah.
Well, what is Love Drive?
This came out in like 78, I think Love Drive did.
fucking hey, like I grew up in the wrong decade, Brent.
He totally did.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I like this album
Scorps
at all,
records.
Jeez. Okay.
Okay. Well, see, that's what I'm here for.
Is that what I'm going to start calling them at the end of this? Scorps.
What? Scorps.
Scorps.
Yeah, that's what I call them. See, the thing about Scorpions, it's not, a lot of people say the Scorpions. It's just Scorpions.
It's just Scorpions.
Yeah.
Got my Scorpa. God damn it.
You need to have a cup of coffee.
Scorpopedic shoes. I got my Scorpthotics in.
I like how you just crack yourself up.
This was that funny. Whatever, man. Scorpopedic shoes.
Wow. You're a mess.
I'm not a mess. I'm still standing.
As far as we know, you could be sitting down. I don't know.
I've been leaning. All right, man.
All right. Go and have a cup of coffee. Fucking sort yourself out.
You know I could, because it doesn't do anything to me. I can have a cup of coffee before bed. No problem.
I was kind of hoping that you'd sober up.
Well, just saying it doesn't wake me up. I'm saying I could sleep. Good night, Brent. See you next week.